Welcome back to another episode of Two Dudes in Your Cage with your host, myself, Charles Clark.
And I'm Matt Johnson.
Hey, we are excited to bring you another night of fights. We got UFC Fight Night at Holm versus Vieira. Hey, we're going to get straight into it. We're real excited about this week. There's some good fights on the card. So let's get into the analysis and predictions. All right, first up, we have Elise Reed, who's 5-1, for Sam Hughes, who's 6-4. Both of these ladies just fought like within the last month. Sam Hughes fought like 2 weeks ago. Elise Reed fought about a month ago. Very quick turnaround. That's pretty exciting. Elise Reed, man, I think she doesn't have that good of a takedown defense. She has been working it. I think a lot of people are saying she's been working on it a lot, trying to improve it. She has very good striking, very good movement. That's kind of what she's known for. For me, the Sam Hughes, she just fought Estela Nunes. I think she needs to approach this fight just like she did Estela. She has great cardio. She has really good wrestling. She does tend to start a little bit slow, so that is kind of worrisome because she doesn't come out the gate super hard, and you never know what can happen when she's a little slow like that. I think she kind of has poor striking defense, which is a little bit of a worry against Elise Reed. Same worry against her with Estela Nunes as well. I think she needs to get this fight to the ground, as she's a great grappler. Elise Reed, like I said, she's been working at takedown defense, but she's more known for her striking. I think she needs to keep this fight on her feet. I really liked how Sam Hughes fought last time. So I think that's why I'm going to go with her. Just going off that last fight, even though there's some worry there. I think Sam Hughes is the pick for me. Matt, what do you think?
So I was looking at this one. Now, Sam Hughes is 1-3 in the UFC. So she was 0-3, won her last one. Her back is still against the cage. Yeah. Elise Reed, 1-1. So she has a little bit of leeway. But I really think, like you said, the takedown defense is going to be the deciding factor.
Absolutely.
We know that Sam Hughes, she can do takedowns. She is more of a stand-up fighter, but I think she's got to mix it up and get a victory, or she's going to not be a UFC fighter for long. So I'm going with Sam Hughes. Good old Sam Page.
Yeah. I definitely think she's close to the chopping block, and that may give her some extra drive for sure. So hopefully she'll come out strong at the gate.
Yeah, speaking of strong, this next fight, I like this one. We got Chase Hooper versus Felipe Colares. Felipe. That's a tough last name. Both jiu-jitsu. Chase Hooper, good stand-up, great grappling. He got the contract with Dana White's Contender Series. I want to say he's 23 years old now, young prospect.
Pretty young.
But he's always exciting. He has unorthodox takedowns. He fell in love with his striking against Bruce Leroy, and that did not work out for him. His last fight, he went back down to the ground, mixed in his grappling, and I think he's going to do that again, and I think he's going to get the victory over Felipe.
Nice. Yeah, Chase Hooper, oh man, he's known for that Eminari role. He just kind of does it. Crazy spots. He just rolls and tries to grab your leg out of nowhere. In my mind, he does have a little bit of a poor striking defense, and I think that's because he doesn't move that well on his feet. But he has been training with Wonder Boy. I did read that. So, Wonder Boy is like a karate dude who moves super excellent. So there could be some changes there. He's a really big, tall, lanky guy. So I think he cuts a lot of weight. So I'd like to see how he looks at the weigh-ins. I think that could make a difference. Felipe Colares, he's actually moving up in weight. So he's going to be a smaller guy against Chase Hooper, but I think he is a great striker with good speed. The issue I have with Chase Hooper is he's a little bit one-dimensional to me. I think he got signed a little bit too early to the UFC. You know, he's a young dude. I think he could have developed more on the regional circuit some, and that really would have done well for him. You know, he's kind of been beaten up a lot in his last couple of fights, taking a lot of damage, and being super young. You know, I kind of don't like that, and wish he would have had more time to develop properly. I think Felipe has had some ground issues in the past, even though he is a BJJ black belt. He's been held down by some guys, by some better wrestlers. He's been submitted a few times. I think he is quite durable. I do see Chase Hooper being a better grappler. I just don't like how Chase Hooper performed in his last fight, where he just was rolling out of nowhere and he wasn't setting it up with his strikes. And it makes me a little bit cautious to pick him. So for that reason, I'm going to pick Felipe.
That's interesting. You know, Chase Hooper has been working with his dad, Ben Askren, as well. So
nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's got, and Askren one-dimensional as well.
Yeah.
But you mix in Wonder Boy striking, Askren's wrestling, and at his age, he learns quicker than, you know, us older gentlemen. So this one will be a good one to watch.
I think if he can make improvements and make his game more of a variety, and not just shoot for the rolls and just go for the grappling and mixing his striking, he does stand a chance for sure. So I would look out for that.
And he's got a 5-inch reach advantage.
Yeah, he does have reach on him too. So you never know. Right, man. Next up, we got Jonathon Martinez, 15-4 versus Vince Morales versus who's 11-5. Man, Jonathon Martinez, man, he's a good striker. I think this is going to be primarily a striking match between these two guys, as they both like to strike a lot. I think, man, he's got a great left kick, Jonathon Martinez. It's super fast. It kind of comes out of nowhere. Plus, he's got good boxing. He's got good cardio. He kind of has lower takedown defense, but he is a decent grappler. He kind of doesn't, he punches and he doesn't kind of recoil his hands fast a lot, where he brings him back. So that's kind of a worry. And he has had a little bit of a chin issue, not super bad in the past. So by the way he brings his hand back to with the chin issue, it does worry me a little bit. I'm also interested to see how he looks on the scales as well, to see if he's going to make weight, to see how he looks, because that can make a big difference. Vince Morales, he's got super speed. He's got great KO power. I mean, he's a good boxer. That's why I think this is going to be primarily a striking match. But I think, Jonathon Martinez is a Muay Thai guy versus a boxer. I just think he has more variety with this Muay Thai than with Vince Morales does with his boxing. And that's the reason why I'm going to pick Jonathon Martinez. What about you, Matt?
It's a good pick. I, too, am picking Martinez.
Nice.
He's going to be the bigger fighter, because I believe Morales has been fighting bantamweight, so he's coming up. Both strikers, but Martinez has a little edge on his takedown accuracy. He's about 38%, where Morales is about 25%.
Super low, both of them.
I don't think they're going to go to the ground.
Yeah.
But I think if Martinez needs to, he has a better chance than if Morales needed to clear the cobwebs. So I think it's going to be a barn burner. They're going to throw some hands, but Martinez is going to get his hand raised.
Nice.
Next one, we have Omar, man, I get all the hard names.
Yeah.
We got Omar Morales against Uros. I know it's not Medic. I believe it's Medic. Okay.
Yep.
So this one, Medic is only 7-1 in his career, but he's also a little bit younger. He's at a reach disadvantage, but he's got some power in his hands. He lands for significant strikes, he lands about 76% compared to 42% for Omar. But Omar's never missed a takedown. He's 100% on his takedown attempts.
Wow.
UFC. So this is a styles makes matchups situation. My guess, bold prediction here, is Medic gets a knockout.
Nice. Hey, I like it. I agree with you. I'm going with Uros Medic myself, man. I think dude's got great offense. He does tend to throw a little bit of looping strikes, but you get a lot of power in those looping strikes, especially if they land. Dude's got great KO power. I mean, all of his finishes are by wins. He's got 5 KOs and 2 subs. He doesn't have a decision win. Omar does kind of have a higher guard like Vieira does. He has good leg kicks. He kind of tends to have a lower output in my mind, but he is a good wrestler. So that wrestling is always in his back pocket, and he could use that if he's getting outstriked by Uros. I just think Uros is, like you said, he's a younger guy. He's super athletic. I think he's going to be quicker. He's going to have more power. And I just think he's going to be super aggressive. And that aggressive is going to get him the win. As where I think Omar needs to get the takedown and he needs to grind out a win. He needs to win 15 minutes of this fight as compared to where Uros is going to land some power shots and most likely get the win that way, in my mind. I like the pick. Right. Next up, we have Jailton Almeida, who's 15-2, versus Parker Porter, who's 13-6. Man, I'm going Jailton Almeida all the way on this one, man. I would probably bet him. I'd probably throw down some money on this dude. This dude is a savage. I mean, he's got great cardio. He's got good wrestling. He's got power. I think he's going to be looking for a takedown. I think that might be kind of hard. Jailton Almeida has fought at 205, but he's moving up to heavyweight for this one. I think he's going to be a lot lighter than Parker Porter, so it might be a little bit more difficult for him to get the takedown. But I think he's got really good front kicks that he uses really well. He's going to get the takedown. He's going to go for ground and pound, and he's going to probably finish Parker Porter. Parker Porter is on a 3-fight win streak. He's going to be a lot bigger. He does have decent boxing. I just don't think Parker Porter has really fought anyone. He beat Chase Sherman. He beat Josh Parisian. They're just not really high-level guys in the UFC. And he lost to Chris Dawkins, who's a ranked guy. And most of Parker Porter's wins are by decision. So I just don't think he can knock out Jailton Almeida, and he needs to finish him. I just don't think a decision win over Jailton Almeida is I just don't see him getting it. So I'm going with Jailton.
It's a good pick. And here's why. Most people don't realize the easiest transition from weight class is light heavyweight to heavyweight, because when you're heavyweight, you don't tend to cut much weight unless you're, some of the top tier guys like Francis Ngannou does. But it's Diablo. At 205, typically when you're fighting, you're weighing about 225, 230, which is an ideal heavyweight. You still have your speed, which Almeida's going to have. And I think he's going to be too quick for Porter. I think he's got enough power to maybe not knock him out with a one punch, but get Porter to be on his back foot, easy openings for the takedown. stay at range. He's got 4-inch range advantage. So I think Almeida's gonna get the victory at a heavyweight.
I agree.
We got some. He is.
I love it.
Out.
We got it. Oh, well, if he wasn't asleep, I'd say let's get a shot of him in there.
Yeah. All right. The next fight is a middleweight matchup against another one. Alen Amedovski versus Joseph Holmes.
You are getting all the hard names.
Yeah. Alen Amedovski, he's kind of a smaller middleweight. He's only 5'10". Most middleweights average around 6 foot. He's also got a 6-inch reach disadvantage. I think Joseph Holmes is gonna, is about 50% on his striking accuracy for significant strikes. I think if he stays that range, hides behind his jab, I really think he could, piece him up and get the victory, maybe the knockout. Joseph Holmes all the way.
Yeah, all right. Man, Joseph Holmes, yeah. Dude's got good subs. He is going to have a reach advantage. He comes from the contender series. I think he's looking for his first UFC win. I think maybe. Man, Alen, dude's got super power, man. All of his wins are by knockout. He hasn't fought in 3 years though, so that's kind of a big worry. I think Joseph Holmes is going to be looking for a takedown. My issue with Joseph Holmes is, man, I just do not like how he performed against Jamie Pickett. Obviously Jamie Pickett's in the UFC, so he's a good fighter. He'd probably kick my ass. I just don't think Jamie Pickett's all that high level, and the way he performed against him, I have a hard time picking him. And I think Alen's going to get another knockout, man. I just think he's going to be too powerful. I think if the fight goes to the ground and Joseph can keep him on the ground and negate that power standing up, he'll probably eke out a decision win. I just think Alen's power is going to be too much. So I'm going to pick Joseph, man. Hey, so Matt and I, we're both professional developers, software engineers. We went to school. We've gotten very lucky in our careers. Becoming a programmer has changed my life. It's opened up a new way of living for me. Going to college is tough. It's not for everyone, especially if you have a family, especially if you're a little bit older. Trying to work full time and going to school can be quite difficult. But, I definitely encourage anybody who's good with computers and interested in programming to get into it. Are you ready to start your new career in coding?
If you are, visit Treehouse. Treehouse is an online coding boot camp. It got you. You want to do a course? You're not just reading. You're not just watching a YouTube video. You're getting hands-on work and hands-on experience. You want to choose to build a portfolio? Go to Team Treehouse. You want to create a network? Team Treehouse. And if you want to land your dream job like Charles and I did, visit Team Treehouse online coding boot camp. Now you're probably wondering, where do we go? Charles, where do we go?
Hey, check the link below. We're going to give you all the information you need. Great stuff. Hey, all right. We're going to move on to the main card. We got Eryk Anders, who's 14-6, versus Park Young-Yan, who's 13-5. Man, Eryk Anders, man, he moves really well. I think he's a good grappler. He doesn't kind of use it as much as he should. He's super athletic. Plus, he's been training at Fight Ready Gym with Henry Cejudo. Man, I think Park kind of winds up his shots a little bit. He tries to look for too much power with those big winding up shots. He is a decent wrestler. He's got really good pressure. The issue I see with Eryk Anders is he doesn't throw a whole lot of combos. He kind of throws a shot and he resets. He should throw a shot, he should throw a combo and keep moving forward. Instead, he kind of shoots, hits a shot, and then he'll just kind of move back and go back to the center of the cage when he should keep pressing. I think Park has really good leg kicks. The key for him is if he's going to get a takedown or not. Eryk Anders likes to hold guys against the fence. I think he's going to be bigger and he's going to be stronger. That could pose a problem if he does get you up against the fence and hold you there and doesn't allow Park to get the takedown. I think Park's wrestling is going to be too much. I think eventually he will get a takedown. I think Eryk Anders, in the first round, he'll be explosive enough to get back on his feet. But I think if he keeps getting taken down by Park, he's going to get held down and stay there, and Park's going to win a decision victory.
Bold move. I like what you're saying. However, I think with the mixture of working with Cejudo, I'm not an Alabama Roll Tide fan, but Anders is Roll Tide. He's a striker, so he will have to stand up, but he has a weakness, and that weakness is leg kicks. Khalil Roundtree tore up his leg in his fight. I mean, he still managed to, fight deep into the fight, but I just think Park is going to stay away from the ground, and he's going to try to show off his striking skills, especially his last fight. He got knocked out. So I think he's going to try to want one back, get one back. And I think he's going to have a striking battle with Anders, and Anders is going to get his hand raised.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think if he tries to show off his striking and gets in a striking fight with him, he's definitely going to lose for sure.
And it's tough because a lot of fighters, they like to, if they get submitted, most of them try the next fight to go on the ground. Like, look what I've improved.
Right.
I think he's at that point in his career where he's like, okay, I got knocked out. I need to show you guys that it's not going to happen all the time.
Yeah, you see that all the time for sure.
Cody Garbrandt.
Exactly.
Perfect example.
Yeah. It's not working out.
Next one, more hard names. Polyana Viana versus Tabatha Ricci. This one is going to be a good one. These both women are, good fighters. They're still coming up, great prospects. But I'm going to go Viana. She has power in her hands. And I think she's going to 6-inch reach advantage. Can't go wrong. She's going to stay on the outside, use her angles and use her boxing, and she's going to point out a good decision.
Nice. Man, dude, I honestly, I haven't picked one till now. I've been having a hard time, and I couldn't decide who I want to pick in this one. Because I was wanting to do Polyana, but so many people on Tap Out, Tabatha is favored. So I like that you picked Polyana. I'm gonna go with her. She's got a reach advantage. She's just a little bit of a weird striker. She's kind of slow and stiff. She is improving. She is really good on the mat though. Tabatha Ricci, she just kind of blitzes forward to try and get a takedown. She's not that great of a striker. She keeps her head down when she strikes and tries to close the distance, which is really weird to me. And she's technical on the ground for sure. I think this might be more of a grappling match though. I think Polyana has good kicks, that she needs to use those. She also has a really good arm bar. Arm bar is my favorite sub. She's got 8 subs, 4 KOs. All of her wins are by finish. You know, a lot of people think Tabatha's gonna win, but yeah, I think I'm calling the upset with you, man. I think Polyana's gonna get this one, man. I do. I just see something in her where I think she's gonna win. So awesome. I'm glad you said
Yeah, I just pulled her stats up. Her Viana's last 2 fights ended in submission, and previous to that, she lost by submission. So I think she's gonna try to take her to the ground.
yeah.
Ground heavy.
She lost like 3 in a row too. So yeah. And now she's got two subs in a row. So I think, that's why I think it's going to turn into a grappling match, because I just don't think Tabatha is that great of a striker either. So they're going to be utilizing their grappling more. Nice. I'm glad you picked her too. So it made me my decision final with picking her. All right. Next up in the featured fight, we have Chidi Njokuani, who's 21-7, versus Dusko Todorovic, who's 11-2. Man, Chidi, man, dude. Where do I start? Let's see. He's got speed. He's got power. Dude was a Bellator fighter. He had a really good run in Bellator. He performed really well. That's why he's in the UFC now. He's a BJJ black belt. He's a Taekwondo black belt. He's a really good kickboxer in my mind. Dusko, he does have really good boxing. He tends to keep himself upright. And by doing so, that kind of leaves him open by how he stands so straight up and not more of in a defensive position. So I think because of how he leaves himself open, he's going to get caught with a good clean shot by Chidi and get knocked out probably. Dusko does have good speed too. I mean, he's a good wrestler. I just think he needs to get a takedown. I think the issue with Dusko is like he needs to get you up against the fence to get that takedown, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that against Chidi, and that's why I'm picking Chidi to win.
I agree with you. Dusko, his takedowns all come from the clinch. His accuracy is 9.5% on his takedown attempts. But I think Chidi is going to be too fast. He's more of a technical striker. He's his last 3 wins are all by KO. And he's on a 3-fight win streak, 1 in LFA, 2 in the UFC. Dusko's, he's got his past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights. Both of his wins were by KO, 1 by decision, lost by decision, lost by KO. I think they're gonna stand up. They're both strikers. And I think it's not going 15 minutes, but Chidi's getting that victory.
Yeah. I agree.
The next fight is gonna be an interesting one.
The co-main event.
Yeah, the co-main event, Santiago Ponzinibbo versus Michel Pereira. I like Pereira, but he gets gassed. He's a flashy fighter. Yeah. I'll never forget his UFC debut when he used all of his energy on the walkout.
Doing backflips and shit.
Yeah, and the minute within the first round, he was gassed.
Everybody remembers that. Everybody.
But after that, he gets conservative, but he seems to know when to get on the throttle and when to get off. So that's a good sign. Santiago is a power striker. He's a good fighter. And I think Pereira's gonna get the victory. But I think it's going to be a back and forth, nail-biting split decision.
fights. This is another one that I don't have a check mark by. I cannot make up my mind on this fight either. Michel Pereira, man, dude, he's a great striker, dude. He's super athletic. He's known for all his crazy, flashy moves. Not only does he do backflips before the fight, he does backflips during the fight. I mean, dude is crazy. But like you said, dude, he expels too much energy trying to show off for the fans. I think his cardio looked better in his last fight. So I think his cardio is getting better. It is at the Apex, so it's not going to be in front of a bunch of fans. There'll be millions watching on TV. So hopefully he won't try to put on too much of a show before the fight and reserve his energy. Santiago, like you said, dude, man, he's super tough, dude. He's got good leg and body kicks. He throws the same combo a lot. He throws a right hand, left hook a lot. If I can see that in my analysis, any pro fighter should be able to see that as well, in my opinion, and look out for that. He is a good boxer. He just kind of throws that same combo over and over to me. I think Michel Pereira needs to stay on the outside. He needs to be a little bit more defensive. He has super good movement. The dude moves so well. I just think, that with that cardio and him being too flashy, it was just kind of hard to lean a certain way. I think I'm going to lean towards Michel as well. I think he will get this one. I just think he needs to conserve his cardio and
I will say his last 3 wins, unanimous decision. So he's on a 4-fight win streak.
Yes. Yeah. And the fight he lost before that to Diego Sanchez was a disqualification to the knee. So, I mean, dude's put together quite a lot of wins,
Yeah. I thought he was going to get cut after he got gassed in minute 1. I was like, oh, Uncle Dana's not happy.
No, yeah. So maybe they told him, hey man, you got to chill out with all that stuff. Worry more about winning the fight than being super flashy and fancy. So
yeah,
and I definitely saw that in his last fight. So I think he's kind of figured that out. So all right, we're on to the main event. Holly Holm, the preacher's daughter, 14-5. Versus Ketlen Vieira, who's 12-2. Man, Holly Holm is the former bantamweight champion. She has been out for a year and a half, and that's due to some injuries. So that does worry me a lot. Holly Holm, she's a former boxer. She's a former kickboxer. She moved into MMA. I think she has really good takedown defense. She has really good footwork. That probably comes from her boxing and kickboxing career. She moves really well. She's a great striker, plus mixed in with a great takedown defense. I think Ketlen Vieira, she's probably one of the best grapplers in the division. She was some kind of Brazilian wrestling champion. Her striking is a little bit predictable in my mind, but she's super dangerous on the mat. She beat Misha Tate recently in her comeback fight, I think, something like that. I think this is kind of a striker versus grappler match. Holly Holmes is going to keep a standing, looked out striker, and Ketlen's going to try and get the fight to the ground. I don't think she's going to be able to, because Holly Holmes' takedown defense is really good to me. Holly Holmes is 40 now, and Ketlen is 30. So there is a 10-year difference. And that could cause some issues along the age difference, along with the layoff due to injuries. Could cause some issues, but I still think I'm going to go with Holly Holmes. I think she's going to win this one.
I was back and forth on this one because Holly's age is a little concerning to me, 40. But then you look at Glover, Teixeira,
Right.
Jan Blachowicz. One thing I noticed, Ketlen Vieira, is her head always stays on that center line when she strikes. She doesn't do head movement. It's always right here. And I think Holly Holm is just going to say, oh, here's my left leg. How's it taste?
That's not good. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's good at grappling, Vieira. But Holly Holm is a great gym, Jackson Wink. So wrestling isn't, defensive wrestling is not going to be an issue. She is a bigger fighter. Holly can comfortably go to 145 and, fight the best in Chris Cyborg and drop back down to 135 next fight and look like she didn't even miss a step.
Yeah.
So I think Holly is going to outstrike Vieira. Holly's going to keep it on the ground and Holly's going to get the victory.
Keep it on the feet.
No, I'm sorry. Keep it off of the ground.
Keep it off the ground.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stay on the feet and get the victory.
I think her striking is just going to be too good.
In women's MMA, there's high level striking. There's Holly Holm, and then like Amanda Nunes.
Right. Exactly.
But when it comes to striking, I mean, Holly Holm, her experience, boxing, kickboxing, it's unmatched.
She's almost in a league of her own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They showed it against Ronda Rousey too.
So Misha Tate was able to get a takedown and rear naked choke her. So she can get taken down. It is possible, but
she can, yeah. And it was amazing that Misha Tate was able to, and Ronda Rousey wasn't.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But Misha went for more of a single leg and not a judo throw. Yeah. So there's always that too.
Ronda was trying to strike with her too, I think, which was stupid in my opinion.
She's the best boxer in women's MMA, remember?
Yeah. In the wrestling, she's the best boxer. Yeah. Yes.
She's doing her thing though. I watched her last. She had to change her arm bar so she didn't break anyone's arms at WWE. So
I don't follow wrestling, but I mean she's still making money. She's still performing as an athlete, so you can't knock her.
Still great. One of the greatest of all times.
Yeah, definitely. And she made history. She made women's MMA what it was. Brought it to the UFC. She's partially to thank for that. So Ronda Rousey is always, she could definitely be in the Hall of Fame too someday, maybe. Right. There you have it for Two Dudes in a Cage for our picks and analysis for Holmes versus Vieira. Let us know what you think. We love to hear feedback. We'd love to hear your picks. Hit us up in the comments. If you like our content, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to know what you think. We look forward to having you. As always, the views are coming in, people are watching, and we sure do appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good day or night, wherever you're watching.